Alrighty, class. Hey, what's up and what's good, YouTube? God damn, this camera's on crooked as hell. Okay, and we good now, baby. We good. Alright, so what's up and what's good, YouTube? It's your host with the most, Paul Cantu, back at you guys with a brand new Cantu customization. And essentially today, what we have up is this denim jacket that your boy thrifted yesteryear, aka yesterday. It's a little Levi's Strauss coat, size small, getting stoned in my Stonewash little like gray acid wash denim jacket, and this piece is absolutely fire. But whenever I pick these up, I view them as like a blank canvas, something I can work with. And I don't know what it is, man. I recently picked up this like Native American little art book. You guys know I'm a fiend for anything that's like Looney Tunes and 90 as hell. So basically what I'm going to do on this denim jacket today is add Tasmanian Devil, all done up in like Native American garb, just busting onto the back of this little acid wash jacket right here. And then I also probably going to do a little patchwork on the front as well. So I'm going to whip out the paints and get to it. But without further ado, man, let's just hop, skip, and jump straight into another Cantu customization. And let's go. Alright, my children, so here we go, man. The first thing I did was I drew Taz riding this crazed looking horse. Full is complete with the headdress and all. Alright, so once the drawing was done, I poured some Angelus Direct acrylic paint into a little canister. Now I use this paint to lay down a base coat because it is durable, it is waterproof, and you can wash the paint. So I added the white paint first and foremost, so all the colors I added after would be vibrant and look absolutely glorious, my children. So here is the first coat of white paint all laid down, and then it was time to get out that color. So the color I laid down after the Angelus was cheap Walmart acrylic paint. We balling on a budget with that bagel colorway, so I added some nice shadows atop that bagel brown, and then also had to hit some highlights around the exterior of this mouth. I really just wanted this task to look as realistic as humanly possible, so I had to make sure the shadow work was looking good. Then I laid down another base coat of white on the inside of that mouth because I had to hit the tongue with that ruby red, looking like those jewels I found in that abandoned coal mine. Yeah! So I also hit the tongue with some pink highlights, some dark maroon lowlights, to really add that vibrancy and give that contrast a blast on that mouth. So there is the tongue. It's looking sprung, but it's time to hit that center console with some dark space black. So I hit that black all in there nice and deep black, gave it a nice little gander. Woo! Then I added some dark mahogany around the edges, and there is that mouthpiece looking correct. So of course Taz got to chomp on the haters, bite some nice meat. Welcome to the meat show, man. I had to sharpen those teeth with some white paint, add in some nice gray for the shadow work, and then surround the teeth with black as well to clean up all the edges and have this looking professional. So the white was whipped out once again on the eyeballs. I had to make Taz look crazy. He just got out the Looney Tune asylum, and this fool is not mentally fit to raise a child. But it's all good. He's not even adopting, man. He's just in the West trying to fuck shit up. So I hit the nose with some black as well, and then I had to make sure his glare and stare was on point and looking straight at anyone viewing my rump or my backside. So once the eyes were laid down and the pupils were dilated, I hit him with some nice brown on the arms. You know, he's a skinny dude, but he'll still flex his bicep and swole on every twice in a while. So I hit the arms with the dark, with the light, and breathe some life into his appendages. And you guys know, kid game vicious on this barefoot beauty. It was time to also accessorize. So I hit his wrist with some nice golden clasps. So he had that golden little bracelet on one wrist, and then he had that bicep clasp on the other, or cufflet. And here's a nice little detail of the gradient work I was doing on that guy. And here is the gold completely done on this man. So then it was time to add the headband, and I thought it'd be sick to have the gold letters of Taz contrasting on the blue gradient that I added. And my oh my apple pie, homie was looking clean and pristine. So then I moved on to bejeweling this dude's headpiece with some nice emerald jewels, and again some rubies that I retrieved out of that abandoned mine as well with the red paint. So at this point, homie was looking accessorized and he was looking cool, but it's time to take this to another level. So I started adding all the feathers on the headdress, the feathers of Cantu. This dude was looking like a damn fool, like a chief. Homie runs a whole village of little miniature Tasmanian devils running around like they ain't got no home training, no sense. And yeah, I had to darken one side of the feather and then have highlights on the other side of the feathers, just so this headpiece was looking as realistic as possible, while at the same time maintaining that cartoon-like imagery. And I really think this dude was looking like a certified chief in the Southwest. So then it was time to hit the top of the feathers with that red once again, adding a deep dark red on the right side of the feathers, getting all nice in there, deep black with the detail shots. And then I also added some low lights with the pink on the other side of each and every individual feather. That's a piece of art. So his head was pretty much done at this point. I threw a tomahawk in one hand because he is out there for destruction, going at people's heads. And then I hit the horse with the base coat of white, and basically was rinse, wash, and repeat with the prep work on the horse. And I had to add, again, the shadows, the highlights to make this horse look as muscular as possible, man. This is like a muscular moose in the South. So then I added some blue in terms of the colorway. That way it would differentiate from the gray of the headdress and just make the horse look a little bit more unique. Low-key on some Paul Bunyan bullshit, but in horse form. Ya dig? So I hit the hair weave, and then I hit his eyeball with that crazed look that Taz has as well, because the horse tamer never can be less wild than the horse itself. So then I also added some jewelry on the mouth and outlined the leg in its entirety. That way the horse was looking like a cartoon and looking semi-realistic, just like Daddy Taz. So here's the horse done. Boy is charging up any foe that is approaching Taz from any type of distance. I added the nice green to bring a pop of color and life into his attire, and added some nice bronze or golden beads and some gold on the saddle. Then it was time to hit that stirrup with the nice dark red again. I just was trying to tie all the colors together as best as possible, maintaining a nice balance on the color palette. And I also had to put him in an environment, so I added some dust that the horse was kicking up, charging the competition and the foes. So I made some cartoon looking dust, had some fruity pebbles just flying amidst in the backdrop, and then added my signature and a little bit of foliage and herb work. Then to complete Taz, I just outlined his body in its entirety. And at this point, I thought I was done with Taz. However, homie looked like he was missing a whole leg. So next day, I threw on that white, threw on that foot. Oh, is that fungus? Hell no, bro. That's good ass shading. And then I also added some green on the other pant leg to make him anatomically correct on the backdrop of this jacket. Hit the beads with the color work, the shadows. And then I think at this point, I was finally done with Taz in the back of this piece. Oh wait, I was. So here's the back complete, and I absolutely loved it. Now I know you guys think that's it. If the back is looking live, the front at least has to have a hint of what lays on the back side or the rump of this denim piece of dynamite. So I made a nice little bulldog slash Taz looking hybrid on the front, of course rocking and shocking the headdress, being stylistic to anyone in the West. So I hit a clean little outline on this dude, added some nice red in the mouth, and then just went absolutely nuts on the headdress once again, adding some beadwork, bejeweling this guy, hitting the feathers with the shadow work, hitting the eye with that crazed glare and stare. And my boy was looking right and tight on the front chest piece and breast of this jacket. So last but not least, I added some jewels to top the feathers. Guy always got to shine, always has to glisten, and always has to sparkle out there in the animated world of custom denim. So here's the front done. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here's what the jacket looks like complete and on body. Yeah.
peruse to. And I'm in it to win it, so I'm somebody that you should get used to.